not know, NASPA has a wonderful tradition of having a gavel carved by a student affairs colleague. This has been a tradition from the time of Chet Peters beginning in 1971. For many years, Barbara Mann carved the gavels, and now we have a young resident director colleague from Cal State San Luis Obispo named Chuck Petronak, who is now carving our gavels. Pat Whiteley spoke with Chuck after she was elected. She shared her ideals and interests, and Chuck created a beautiful piece for her term on the board. You are seeing pictures of this creative process on the screen now. Pat's passion is the U. She has been at the University of Miami for a long time. And her gavel certainly reflects that passion. Patricia A. Whiteley, Vice President for Student Affairs at the University of Miami, to the podium to receive her gavel.
Something like that. But I guess I would be remiss to say that I am a little bit of a job, so that's okay. And it is indeed an honor, and I'm deeply humbled to serve as chair of the NASPA board during the upcoming year. I'm truly excited about the incredible strides we have made under the leadership of Kevin Kruger, the exceptional leadership of Laura Wankel, and the NASPA board. Our future is bright, and I will join this afternoon an impressive group: former presidents, chairs, regional director, knowledge community chairs, NASPA Foundation members, international advisory chairs, and many more. NASPA staff and NASPA volunteers who have made NASPA the leading voice for student affairs in higher education in the United States and throughout the world. I think we would all agree there's no doubt that higher education is under the microscope and rapidly changing. Each and every day there seems to be a new story, whether about online learning, affordability and value, legal issues and compliance, changing demographics, low graduation and completion rates, careers linked to undergraduate degrees, technology initiatives, student services, unfunded mandates, student mental health, diversity, safety and security, graduate salaries as a measure of educational value, and student and parent expectations, to name a few of the ones that crossed my desk last week. It is clearly a time of great scrutiny and concern across the higher education spectrum. And these issues involving student affairs are among the most complex and difficult. And so in this context, how does the changing environment impact our work and the support NASPA provides to our member institutions and professionals on our campuses? And in partnership with Kevin Kruger and the NASPA board, what are my objectives for the coming year? First and foremost, I think it's really essential that we continue to fortify our position in the public policy arena at the national level. Lisa Irwin's invitation to join the discussion involving the Violence Against Women Act, the addition of Brian Sponsler to head NASPA's public policy efforts, as well as our invitation to be at the White House to talk about mental health and sexual assault, are notable steps in this direction. The Legal Link publications that we have just published, also absolutely terrific and invaluable to our work on the campuses. Too often, the laws and policies have been formulated, quite frankly, without our voice. Yet our campuses view us as the experts, and we are expected to conform, to abide by these policies. NASPA needs to be at the table when rules are shaped by lawmakers. To illustrate my point, going way back, how many hours, if not thousands of hours, have we all spent dealing with issues with the Clery Act? As well-intended as it has been, might it have been even stronger had NASPA been more involved from the onset. To this end, I also believe NASPA should explore promulgating a thoughtful statement that speaks to the reality of our campus experience relative to increased expectations of the services we provide. While there is great scrutiny about college affordability and concern about administrative load, as described in the media, I think collectively we should provide a thought piece that accurately reflects the increasing demands and challenges of complex mental health cases, discipline, and safety and security, among others. I know, as a veteran vice president at the University of Miami, I have witnessed a changing and challenging environment, and I know many of you as well. The job that I had in 1997, my first year as VP at Miami, to the job I have now in 2014, it doesn't even look simpler. In addition, in coming year, I will work with the NASPA staff members in the crucial work of NASPA's 7 regions, 28 KCs, the NASPA Foundation, the Center for Women, the Scott Academy, the International Advisory Board, the Division of Small Colleges and Public Policy Division, and the NUF Board, and the countless other programs and initiatives. These organizations and boards are the heart and soul of NASPA and deserve the support, the resources, and attention to continue their engagement and success. On that note, I also believe it is important to explore how NASPA can improve our relationship with our community college colleagues. Community colleges make significant contributions to higher education, and their voice in conversations about affordability and completion rates has never been more crucial. I am committed to working with newly appointed Chair, Paulette Dobbs, and her board to develop further strategies to engage community college leaders in student affairs. And I visited with her board this morning, very early. Feels like a century ago, but it was very early this morning. Other initiatives include continuing the dialogue with graduate preparation faculty, faculty council, concerning relevant and timely academic preparation essential for student affairs professionals. We must ensure that these programs enable graduate students to continue to develop necessary competencies and remain responsive to the demands of higher education. Larry Roper and I moderated a thoughtful discussion this morning with faculty to talk about how we prepare student affairs professionals, not just for their first job, but for their third and fourth job in terms of that foundation. In continuing, working closely with Kevin Kruger, and we've spoken about this actually for a while, we'd like to explore the ability of NASPA to better partner with key higher ed organizations, ACE, AAC&U, and the various national associations for presidents and provosts, to ensure that critical student affairs issues are introduced and discussed during programs designed to orient new campus executives to their respective positions. I will also work with Kevin Kruger and the NASPA board to optimize the merger of the Bacchus Network with NASPA. Bacchus represents a terrific opportunity for us to support the work of our professional colleagues and student peer leaders who consistently provide high-quality campus programs to address one of the most frequently cited obstacles to student success, substance abuse-related issues. And lastly, with respect to my personal NASPA goals, I am committed to working with the new 2014-15 NASPA board to update our strategic plan, Advancing Leadership, Shaping Change, astutely written under the leadership in 2010, under the leadership of Dr. Patricia Irving, Vice President for Student Affairs at Northwestern. The board will work together at our summer meeting in New Orleans to update and revise the plan, ensuring that our goals speak to our work in 2014 and beyond. Before I conclude, I want to acknowledge the presence of my UM family, particularly my longtime executive assistant, Nancy Ryan. I have had the same executive assistant for the entire time. And so when I was going to think about doing this, I kind of had to consult with my family. But I really had to consult with Nancy. So Nancy said yes, and the rest is history. But Nancy Ryan is here as well. Nancy, not only has she served me for 17 years, but the previous vice president, Dr. William Butler, she was his administrative assistant, executive assistant for 16, total of 33. So that's pretty cool if you think about it. So, and we also have a number of UM students that are here, UM staff, and we really want to thank them for their support, particularly some of my department heads, Dr. Gail Cole-Levant, Chris Hartnett, Danielle Howard, Andrew Weimer, and Christian Garcia, all who are excited about this opportunity. Also, I want to shout out to Leslie Ann Brown, who's kind of a NASPA star, but Leslie Ann Brown, who's chair TPE, who chairs the Committee for Inclusion, got her start at the University of Miami as our president of United Black Students, and I've known her since she was a freshman. So very, very proud of Leslie Ann. Also with us, and very important to me, my two mentors from the University of South Carolina, Dr. Cynthia Forrest, who was just introduced, and Dr. Frank Ardiola. Both of them were at South Carolina when I was a graduate student. And I'm also just so pleased that my dear friend, who I met at a NASPA conference, Mid-Managers in New Orleans in 1999, has kind of served as somebody that we talked to back and forth, Dr. Francis Lucas Tausches, former president of Millsaps, and now the CEO and president of down at University of Southern Mississippi Gulfport, was former at Emory as vice president for student affairs, and Francis is with us today too, so I'm really pleased about that. I also have the support, so I want you to know, of UM President Donna Shalala, one of the nation's most visible and effective college presidents. I have been truly fortunate and blessed to have learned a great deal from President Shalala. More about that some other time. Particularly about short-term and long-term strategies for success. I'm also thrilled to be joined today by my husband, George Schaffner. My daughter, Megan, is on a 6th grade field trip to the Kennedy Space Center. So George is enjoying a 3-day respite from monitoring homework assignments. It's all on the computer. It's so confusing sometimes. And her use of the iPhone. I'm also joined today by 2 former UM students. I might get emotional here. Shahana Razzo and Marissa Ornstein. Their presence is particularly meaningful to me because in the end, our work is about touching students, helping them to embark on a lifetime of engagement and finding opportunities for them to continue their journey. Both Shah and Marissa, they're over there, who I have known since their sophomore years at Miami, have certainly done just that. Shah is a first-gen current teacher at Blue High School in Southeast Washington, and with English, that is, and was a finalist in 2013 for the DC Teacher of the Year Award after only 3 years. Marissa is a 4th-year medical student at the Miller School of Medicine at the University of Miami, 3 days away from finding out where she will do her pediatric residency, and the current president of the American Women Medical Student Association. I am so proud of both of them and touched that they took time to be with me this afternoon. So thank you. My long-term colleague, Dr. Richard Walker. Richard and I worked for 24 years at the University of Miami before he went to the University of Houston. Has spoken about our theme for the 2015 convention. And I think it's particularly relevant because every day we are challenged to navigate with courage on our campuses. In conclusion, I look forward to the year ahead, working with Kevin Kruger and the NASPA board to further advance the work and progress of NASPA and our collective vision. 32 years ago, in a blizzard in Boston, as a 2nd-year graduate student at South Carolina, I would never have envisioned this moment. Today, I am deeply humbled by all the leaders that have come before me, but I want to pay particularly tribute, especially, to Alice Manicure, the first woman president of NASPA. I am committed to working with you in the coming year to advance NASPA, our profession, and to ensure that NASPA supports the vital work on our campuses, allowing each of us each and every day to make a difference. I trust that you've had a great conference, superbly crafted by Kevin Kruger, Laura Wankel, Frank Lamas, and your committee, Stephanie Gordon, Arlene and Jennifer, and the NASPA staff. I want to thank the hundreds of volunteers who have supported every aspect of this conference. I look forward to meeting many of you personally in the coming year and to seeing everyone again in New Orleans next March. Thank you so much.
Your mother, and the entire Whiteley clan, your brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews, to present you with these flowers. They are extremely proud of you as you assume this national leadership role.